Ah, yeah. Hey, Amaru. Only if you're ready. Let's go. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Me no care about all the noise, but I'm digging your station. See how you got my head spinning with a body rotation. Couple days went by, now I'm losing my patience. Go ahead, drop a pin, girl, wanna know your location. What's your location? Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way, I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day, I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Do you know she royalty? Do you know she royalty? One that I get heart racing. I did feel like with her we can take over nations, yeah. We can take a trip whenever, girl, you need a vacation. Number one bad girl, killing everything like on a mission. Girl on a mission. Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way, I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day, I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you, yeah.
All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday podcast. Happy Monday, and what an interesting start to the week it is. Nobody expected this today. Nobody. Complete and utter surprise to the squad, to the tabloids, even to the mainstream press. Our man slipped into London so quietly. Sorry about the replay. So quietly. I don't know how he did it, because I've seen a Twitter account that can literally track celebrities' planes. I don't know how they do it. So I don't know if he came in on commercial, but wow, no leaks. And don't believe me, let's listen to Kay Burley of Sky News herself. This is what she said today. This was breaking news, by the way. Breaking news. Listen to this.
This man is serious. No one expected this to happen. You said it's your duty to. What do you hope to achieve, sir? This is Prince Harry arriving at the Royal Courts of Justice today in his court case against the Daily Mail. We thought he was on the west coast of the United States with his family. That is not the case. Within the last few minutes, Prince Harry has arrived at the High Court here in London. You can tell he's serious about this one. Let's just listen.
She said, we thought he was on the west coast with his family. No, boo. He'd gotten on a plane, snuck in, went into that courthouse, and you didn't even know. And there were hardly any photographers actually at the very beginning. I think probably some news media sent the photographers there with the anticipation that maybe some of the other claimants might show up, but they weren't expecting him. Shocked and shook everyone. Harry is playing checkers, not chess. And they're just struggling to keep up. Now, what's interesting is that Charles is away from London. Now, he was meant to go to France. That got cancelled. And I believe the Cams are on holiday on their 359 millionth vacation. Maybe they're off with Ashanti somewhere on their millionth vacation. Or I think it's the kids' holiday or something. But yeah, the others aren't around. And I don't think Harry would have told them. There is no way. Because if he had, it would have leaked. Now, what's interesting is that I had assumed that Harry was only going to come for the May trial. I think that's the one with Piers Morgan. But I think it's really good that he did come. And also Elton John and one of the other claimants came as well. Oh, and Stephen Lawrence's mother, Doreen Lawrence, I think her name is. And it's great that they came, because if they hadn't come, the media wouldn't be covering this at all. They would have kept it so hush-hush. And in fact, and we're going to get into it a little bit later in the podcast, they have gone to great lengths trying to put an embargo on this whole case. So goodness knows how he managed to sneak in like that. Maybe he went to another airport first. But here we are. Harry is in London. And to me, like, this just gives me confidence that, you know what, we're good. We're good. And yeah, William and Kate always go on vacation after Kate finishes her keening season. We're going to get into that as well, because Lord Jesus. Yeah, truthfully, the fact that he came to court just to look speaks volumes. He's not playing around. Apparently, he had a notebook. He was taking notes. But it's great, because otherwise, they really would not have covered this. It would have been so low key. But anyway, before we really get deep into this, because there's a lot to talk about. And even just in the last hour or so, I've just got footage of Harry leaving the court house. So we're going to get into all of that. But let's, as we always do, get into some other things first. And then we're going to do a deep dive. And you know what? Because I bet a lot of you probably have something to say, I'll take some calls as well. So first things first. Over in the Spencer family, where we're a little bit more normal, Lady Amelia Spencer got married. There's her wedding pictures. I believe Kitty Spencer also got married quite recently. She had quite a big wedding overseas. Beautiful dress, very classic and modern looking, all looking very happy. The Spencer side is a very good looking bunch. William is looking the way he's looking because Dan reached down from heaven and snatched back her Spencer jeans. And back went his hairline. She said, absolutely not. If you want to act like a Windsor, you will look like a Windsor. Congratulations to Miss Lady Amelia. Also, Juju strikes again. Miss Lizzie Cundy. This is a woman who said, she went on GB News and said that Meghan ghosted her. I don't know what grown adult goes on a TV show to talk about being ghosted by someone else. And that's probably not even what happened. Actually, it's definitely not what happened. They probably met once, very briefly. Meghan realized what a desperate gossip clout chaser she was. And she said, absolutely not. And she kept it moving, kept it classy, like Meghan does. Because she could see exactly what this woman's character was. You can't be ghosted by someone that you were never even friends with. Straight out of the Piss Moron guidebook. And she is now being chased for unpaid bills by a private health company and luxury car group. A series of charges have been placed on her 1.2 million home in a leafy village in Hampshire after she failed to pay off debts. Maybe that's why she's clout chasing and can't keep Meghan out of her mouth. Because she got bills to pay. And I guess the fastest way to pay the bills nowadays is to be a Meghan hater. Should have focused on maybe having some talent, having some creativity, having some business sense. And then you wouldn't have to clout chase like this. Embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? It's very embarrassing. So yeah, there's that. Also, in the United Kingdom is absolutely insane news. This came up today. People begging on Britain's streets will be targeted as part of new proposals to crack down on antisocial behaviour. It comes as the Prime Minister prepares to announce new powers to deal with people who are said to be causing the public distress. Apparently, being poor, because your government has spent 2 decades implementing austerity measures and having to beg on the streets, is now antisocial behaviour. You know what's quite distressing to me? People in poverty. Yeah, that is very distressing. But I don't blame those people. And I definitely don't want those people to be prosecuted in any way. It is horrific how we treat the homeless. There should absolutely be more programs, more money being put into helping people off the streets, housing people, helping people get back on their feet. And instead, they want to treat the homeless like criminals. And Cathy O'Donnell tweeted something that I thought spoke a lot to the mentality of this government. She said, and also the people, or certain people in the United Kingdom, saying, it never fails to amaze me the way people are brainwashed by the media. So many people want Harry to lose the case out of bitterness from the lies they have been fed by the very tabloids he's fighting on behalf of the people who can't afford to fight. Yes. And instead of supporting people in our country that are trying to fight the good fight, the people on the screen is what we support. We support the Jacob Rees-Moggs, the God, I've even forgotten his name now, Nigel Farage. And then we wonder how we get to a situation where you've got people who are homeless and poor in a country that is so wealthy, but that wealth is so concentrated. And then we treat the poor like they're dirt. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who are struggling are the ones that are so brainwashed by the establishment, who can't see that, for example, you know, what Harry is trying to do would benefit them. So the public does have to take some blame, I think, for the fact that, they just believe everything that they're told and they almost work against their own interests. But it's disgusting to see the government treating people that are struggling like criminals. A lot of us are only one paycheck away from homelessness. All while you have a bunch of royals who have 4 taxpayer funded castles, one of which, Kensington Palace, we spent £12 million to renovate and they never moved in. Sorry, well, they moved out, I meant to say. We spent £12 million on Kensington Palace only for them to move out and move into another home. I wasn't gonna say anything about this whole shaping us, children in their brains, whatever it is that Catherine is doing. But after I saw this, I just had to. So Kate went to Iceland. Now, Iceland is a budget food store here in the UK. And she had a chat with one of the managers there in relation to shaping us. And the Kensington Royal account posted this. The foundations for so many of the soft skills businesses are looking for in their workplaces are developed in the earliest years of our lives. Great to chat with Iceland all about our Shaping Us campaign with early childhood. So now I'm completely and utterly confused as to what Shaping Us and what this early childhood we need to help children with their brains campaign is about. So now we're helping children develop so they can get jobs at the supermarket, so they can have the soft skills to work at the supermarket. We need to help them in their early childhood so they can work at Iceland. I'm completely confused now. Mind you, Catherine herself has never had a job in her life, even in her pre-royal life. We've gone from developing children's brains and helping parents with their children something something to being in Iceland and talking about soft skills. The courtiers, whoever is organizing this campaign, they do not know what they are doing. I'm not going to play the footage, but she's basically just mumbling throughout the whole thing. I have no idea anymore what this is meant to be about. If you wanted to do something impactful and involve businesses, should you not be challenging businesses to create more flexible working, more working from home opportunities, better pay? Wouldn't that help parents and children? Now we're talking about soft skills for childhood early development because that's what workplaces are looking for. Completely confused. This is why that lady who was going to be the new ball breaker, PR person, secretary person, she went running. She went absolutely running. Because how can you work with anyone or any group of people that have no direction? People that were complaining about 5 a.m. emails. People that do nothing but copy. She probably got there and was told, no, just copy everything Meghan is doing. I only saw this yesterday, actually. The similarities between the archetypes and they're shaping us. I literally only saw that yesterday. Like, what is this? Copying every single last thing. If you can't beat her, become her. It's wild to me. And Kate she's in her 40s. Not a single original idea. I have not talked about this helping children with their brains project since it was announced. I didn't want to talk about it. I think it's a waste of time. But when I saw this, I was just like, what? What on earth are they doing and what are they talking about? Anyway, let me go to your comments before we continue. You can let me know what you all think of this and help me try to make sense of this because I can't make sense of it at all. Lauren, there was a photo of him over the weekend in Miami. Okay. Yes, Kenneth, they want the court case to be thrown out, but that ain't happening. They have likely tried to settle many, many times, but that ain't gonna happen. Yes, karma is hitting like a ton of bricks for some of these people. Keep Rachel Meghan Markle, Princess Henry of Wales, Mountbatten Windsor out of your mouth. Earless of Dumbarton, whatever other titles they gave her. Queen of everyone who lives rent-free in the UK's mind. Leave her alone. Yeah, exactly. If you want to help the homeless, stop paying the royal family tens of millions a year. That might help. Oi. Yeah, Ladybird, people want to believe the lies. They want to believe the lies. Thank you everyone for joining. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please. Does anybody want to come up? Let me put the I'll put the link. Whoopsie daisy. I'll put the link in the chat if anybody wanted to come up. And I am to be doing a second live later today about one of the former editors of the Daily Fail, and I think it will complement this live very well. Matty Rambo, who is advising her? I don't know. Okay, sorry, I just have to. Quite a lot of you have been commenting because there's so many of you in here. Let's scroll on down. Okay. On to the next thing. Yeah, Rob Jobson. He is still getting absolutely roasted, as he should be, for his comments about Prince Archie. It is wild to me that these people think that they can say these things, get away with it, then they get roasted, and they go running to the first exit. They can't take 10 minutes of what Meghan had to put up with for 6 years. Mind you, what Meghan had to put up with for 6 years was completely and utterly unjustifiable. Everything that Rob Jobson is getting is very much deserved. So the Duchess said on Twitter, Robert Jobson scored an own goal by threatening to dangle a 3-year-old over the balcony. Is this one of your sick jokes you have at the palace? I ask the question because there's been no condemnation from the royal family as per usual, not even from the royal, who is an expert in under 5-year-olds' welfare. To the Commonwealth, do you now understand why the only woman of colour left the institution and fled the country? These so-called sick jokes from the royal reporters and the British media is a call to arms. Good morning, Britain. What's your take on this? Are children off limits, or does that just apply to the Cambridge children? Because the Cambridge children never get spoken about like this. In fact, the one time that there was, and it was satire, albeit in bad taste, it was satire, a cartoon went after the Cam kids, Squaddies defended them. But they think they can just say anything and everything about Lily and Archie. Wild. Thank you so much, Fraser1001, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Oh, and also, I don't know who it was. There was someone who'd been a member for some time. Sorry, it came up on my phone, but I can't remember the name. I think it was like 6 months or something. So sorry, whoever that was. Thank you so much for being a member. Oh, thank you so much, Lightside. You didn't have to do that. Much appreciated. Choda CC, why the courtiers, why don't you take her ideas that we scuffle her about? They tell her those new hires saw the exit quicker to not fall into the quicksand. Indeed, they wanted none of it. Would you? To be honest, I'm still side-eyeing her for even entertaining the idea. Right, so let's get on to it, shall we? Harry at the courthouse. Now, the picture on the, I guess it would be your left, but the right of the screen, that was the scene before Harry got there. And then on the other side, what it started to look like when news got out that he was there. And it was pretty crowded. Look at this man. This man is getting hydrofacials. He has a Hollywood dentist. Beautiful tan from the Californian sun. He's being fed organic feed. He is enjoying properly spiced chicken and probably Doria's potato salad. Glowing and confident. And all that nonsense about Harry needs to give 28 days notice. Honey, he didn't even give you 28 hours of notice. He hopped on that plane and showed up and said, "Here I am, bees. Here I am." Look, he's even got a side part. Harry's got a side part. He's looking good. And I'm going to play the video now. He walked into that courthouse so confidently, full entourage, the lawyers, the bodyguards. Although I have to say, the bodyguard on the left, I want to see you paying better attention tomorrow, please. We shouldn't be bumping into photographers. Thank you very much. Here's Harry walking into the courthouse.
Why are you here, sir? What are you hoping to see, sir? Morning.
Sorry.
Okay, and here's Harry leaving the courthouse about an hour and a half ago.
Photos, please.
Sir.
Okay, so there you go, the man in the flesh. Now, as well as Harry, Elton John also made an appearance, and someone else. I don't know who that is. That's got either Elizabeth Hurley or Sadie Frost. My apologies, I don't know who that is. But the claimants in this particular case are Baroness Lawrence, the mother of Stephen Lawrence, Elizabeth Hurley, David Furnish, Elton John's partner, Sir Simon Hughes, Harry, and Sadie Frost. So, well done to all of these people for taking it all to the end and not taking any payouts. But in order for them to take it all of this way, you got to have deep pockets. And it's just so sad that the legal system is not set up to be able to take on these type of cases on behalf of the people. You know, I think I think you can get legal aid in cases if you can't afford a lawyer, but the type of heavyweight lawyers that you would need to hire to take on the Daily Fail, to take on these big tabloids, I don't think there's very many lawyers that will take that on for free, unless maybe like with the 7/7 bombing claimants, you had like a whole group of you and they're all kind of doing it together. But that's a very different case. So here we are, and the tabloids are doing their best to keep it under wraps. Now, this is the cover of the Daily Fail, right? End of human rights farce. People wanting human rights is a farce, apparently. In a triumphant week for British values, Tories unveil plans to give Parliament and judges power to ignore the European Court and its crazy decision-making. And then, today, they try to invoke the Human Rights Act to stop the naming of journalists. You cannot make this up. And then during Meghan's case, they tried to paint Meghan's court case against the Daily Fail as an attack on the press and that they had the right to free speech. No, Meghan had the right to privacy and you invaded it. You published a private letter. And now when they want to hide their names, They want to invoke the Human Rights Act to stop the naming of journalists. Likely piss moron Rebecca Brooks, Murdoch, and anyone else involved in this. One rule when it suits them, another when they want to invade someone else's privacy. That whole Daily Fail cover is just disgusting. To put such a serious article about human rights underneath an article basically objectifying women. Rise of the no cleavage. Like, what is this? That's not journalism. That's nonsense. And a lot of people, unfortunately, will read a paper like this and actually think that it is a good thing that Parliament are going to have power to ignore the European Court when it comes to human rights. They literally convince people to work and vote against their best interests. It's wild. Also, apparently, Doreen Lawrence was hugged by Prince Harry. This is just what I saw someone tweet. But Doreen also said that she felt haunted by the fact that she will never know the true impact of the Daily Fail's alleged unlawful information gathering, and wondered whether her trust in the newspaper caused her to have a delayed or failed justice in the case of her son. And the man that she is with, that is Paul Darcy. This is the... Sorry, not Darcy, De Cray. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Mr. Pauly. He was the editor of the Daily Fail at the time. I'm actually doing a video on him later. But there was a certain point at which the Daily Fail acted as though they were trying to help Doreen Lawrence, only to then do a switch. So, very sorry for this mother who lost her son. But if anything, I just hope it's a lesson, particularly to Black Brits, to just not get involved with these people. Because as much as the Daily Fail were probably, trying to present themselves as helpers at the time, I could not imagine a Black American going to Fox News, right? Like, even if Fox News came and said, "Oh, we're really sorry, what happened with your family member. We'd like to help you get justice in this case, or awareness about this case." I can't imagine a Black American like collaborating with Fox News. I just don't see that happening. And it just proves that no matter how much they smile, they come to you with a smile, these tabloids cannot be trusted at all. And it's very, very sad that they, in the end, just ended up being very malicious. And I think there's probably a lot more that we're going to find out as the days and weeks go on. Because today it was closed court. So there's not really anything that we can find out until, I reckon, until we get a little bit further to the end. But I do hope that Miss Doreen gets justice for her and her son. And if Harry did give her a hug, that's very sweet. So he has met Harry and Meghan before. You can see the bottom picture there. Yeah, I'll take your comments before we get on to the next things. A couple of other things that I had to say. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please, if you're just joining us. Oh, thank you so much to Pixie for the coffee. Much appreciated. Did anyone want to come up, by the way? I did put the link in the chat if you want to join the chat. Sorry, I'm still really snuffly today. I do have a really bad cold. Really bad cold. I'm so grateful that I'm getting it today and not when I'm flying. I can just get it out of my system now. Hi, Benjamin. Hope you're enjoying your lunch break. Yeah, Wendy, the UK press did not want this case getting global coverage at all. But I have to say the American press has done a pretty good job. I saw MSNBC covering it. Yeah, I saw a couple of places covering it. Oh, I see Roseanne and Karen in the chat. Thank you for coming in. Okay, let's race through your comments and then. Oh, thank you so much, Maria Murdoch. Thank you for the super sticker, much appreciated. There's been a lot of commentary about. Oh, thank you so much. I say Paul's surname is pronounced Dayker. Thank you. Now I know how to say it properly. Thanks. Yeah, that guy, the fool. We're going to be talking about him later. Linda, you said they betrayed that soldier that spoke up, thinking he was supporting Harry. Yes. But again, it's like, as we say all the time, you cannot trust these people. It's like, what else do the British tabloids have to do in this country before people realize they can't be trusted? Hillsborough wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. What else do they have to do to let you know that they are scum and you keep messing with them? Don't understand it. Okay, I'm just gonna race through a couple more things before I let the callers come on. Piss moron. This fool tweeting Prince Harry, who spent the last few years ruthlessly invading the privacy of his family, friends, and acquaintances for huge financial gain, has turned up at court in London to complain about newspapers invading his privacy. The way that karma is going to come for this man is TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. You'd think at this point he'd just keep his mouth shut. Karma is coming for you, sir. May 9th. May 9th. It's the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end for you, sir. You have gotten away with so much for so long. In the name of every female celebrity that you have come after, in the name of Millie Dowler, in the name of everyone who you have stomped over, who you have ridiculed, who you have bullied, you have used to get to where you are. Karma's going to come for you. That's all I have to say about that pic. Also, this lady right here, this is just an example of the foolery of what the British journalists are doing today. Miss Emily Ferguson tweeting, Prince Harry has arrived at the High Court in London for a preliminary hearing this morning. This raises a few questions. Where is he staying? Is he alone? Will he see other royals while he's here? Will he accept a coronation invite in person? Asking questions that are completely and utterly irrelevant to the court case. And no surprises, she's the digital royal editor of the Daily Express and has Camilla and Charles in her header. They don't want anyone talking about this case with any level of seriousness. Because the moment people stop listening to the tabloid chatter and start digging deep about what this is all about, this is what they're going to discover. They're going to discover who really is behind all of this. The likes of Rothamir. These people right here. And with that, I will get through some of your comments, and then Roseanne and Karen, you can come up. Hi everyone, if you're just joining us, thank you so much. Yeah, Roseanne, legal aid won't be given in cases like this. I mean, you can barely even get legal aid, even if you've been assaulted. The injustice system is ridiculous. Yeah, today was great. Couldn't believe it. I tell you. Cinderella, the British tabloids have as much credibility as a national inquiry in the US. Yes, not much. Well, I think overseas they are getting less and less credibility. But in the UK, they still have so much power. Noreen, I don't know where Prince Harry is staying, and even if I knew, I wouldn't say. Do you know what? I was so tempted. Me in my little petty drama filled mind. Do you know what I was so tempted to do today? I was like, they're going to be looking for where he is. I was so tempted to call up one of these tabloid hotlines at the Daily Mail and the Sun and be like, listen, I run this podcast called Duchess of Success and I know where Harry is, and give them the wrong address. I was so tempted to do that. Like, literally just send them on a wild goose chase. Because they would probably have believed me. But I was like, no, let me not be petty like that. God is taking care of everything. Let me stay out of it. But I was tempted. I was tempted to send them on a wild goose chase today. Maybe like 4 or 5 of us should do it. Have the Daily Mail rolling up in the sticks somewhere in the marshes of England, try to look for Harry. Ah, guys. All right, I'm gonna stop talking nonsense now and let Roseanne come up. Roseanne, you there? Roseanne, I don't think I can. Okay, let me go to Karen.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, it's Karen. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you feeling today?
Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better, and it make it
Yeah.
even better to see. It make it even better to see our faves this morning. It was very uplifting. Yeah, but I also wanted to apologize for yesterday because I kind of gotten, really not kind of gotten, I got really upset because
No,
just the
no, no, no,
fact
no,
of,
no, no, no,
yeah,
no. Don't apologize
yeah,
at all. This is a free
hmm
space for squaddies to
yeah,
express themselves, and I'm so glad for you that you feel like you found strength in this situation. Don't apologize at all.
I did. The thing is, don't get me wrong. I'm always a strong person. I'm not, into being controlled or anything. And always the type of person that speaks, speaks my mind and my peace. But at the same time, we all know, the climate that, there's only so much, that being a Black person or a person of color, there's only so much that you can say, without looking to jeopardize your job or your position or something. Or you have to be 50% of yourself or 75% of yourself because you're looked upon that's um, the same kind of attitude, of Megan, that you're not intelligent enough, you're not supposed to know these things, like why, but in the
And at
same
the same
time,
time, yeah, making you feel
exactly, at the
lesser
same
than when
time,
you show
you
that you're
are the
capable.
intelligent one.
Yeah,
Yeah, at the same time,
absolutely.
you are the intelligent one. You're the one who knows best, but because of, your color, it's not supposed to come from you, or it comes from you and someone else takes credit for it. So that was basically my position, and I mean to say, since this whole thing came out with uh, Prince Harry and Princess Meghan leaving there, it just put me in a position where, something, I don't have to be 50% of myself. I can take credit for what I do.
Yeah, of course.
And I can, I know who I am, and I don't have to hide that anymore, and I don't have to be afraid anymore.
Mhm.
So that's what this brings me. And one of the things that you know I I I I kind of made up this motto. And you might figure it out. Some of us in the squaddies may figure it out, but this is what it is, right? Magnificent, exceptional or extraordinary, gracious, um, exna, meaning it's in Latin, meaning confident woman, um, um, intelligent, um, integrity, truth, and triumphal. So you can go through it and kind of figure it out. I'm not gonna, it might be a trigger, if I say what it is, but that was basically at that time, and even now, what that sets in motion for me is the superpower. And that was basically my superpower. When it was a negative for a lot of people, it was like the happiest time for me, and it was my superpower, and it's the best thing that could ever happen to the world. And that was my thought at that time, and it just sent me into a whole different level of living, of being, of going through life. It just put me into that place. So
And what was your reaction this morning? Like when you saw, I almost couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
I could not believe it. I was like, what? I started sending messages out. I was doing some exercise at the time, and I just had to forget the exercise, and I started sending messages out. He's in London. He's at the High Court. He's this, he's that. And it just put my day in motion at that high, and I was so happy about it. So happy about it. I keep just searching on the news. It's coming over, and every time the name come up, every time they're doing the news about it, I leave what I'm doing. I run to the TV looking at it. So I'm in a high. Just now, I looked to see who's coming on, who's coming on. So when you put 1 o'clock there, I said, good, finally somebody is coming on early. And the thing is that I have to go play it back because I didn't get to hear everything. Because just as you were coming on, I turned it over and I got a call. So I had to go on a call. So I have to go play back everything that you discussed because I didn't get to hear anything. I just came off the call, and then the same time you said, okay, you just put the thing in there that we can call. And so I said, I'm calling in. I need to speak to them. I need to apologize for yesterday. I hope anyone wasn't.
No.
But yeah, it just gives me a whole uplift today. It just made my week, so it's great. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karen.
Yeah, not a problem. So, hi, squaddies. Just be strong, and keep praying. Okay.
Indeed.
Give him favor. Give him favor. Talk to you later, sweetie. You take care. Bye, squaddies.
Roseanne, I can add you to the stream, but I think you've still got your camera on. Could you turn off the camera? Oh, hi, Rahini. I'm on earlier today because I've got another podcast I'm going to do later. So I just wanted to separate them, and also because I'm 100% Baron will be on later, so just to give a little bit more room. Right. Roseanne? Oh, she's disappeared. Did anyone else want to come on before I head off? I'm going to go take a break, and then we'll come back later for the podcast later. Did anyone else want to come on? Thank you so much, Chef Sandy Love, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. And thank you, everyone. The coffee is much appreciated. Yeah, Maggie. Piers Morgan is mad because he might be called to testify. He cannot be as foolish and buffoonish as this, what you see on the screen, in front of a judge. He will be humbled. And you know something? I feel so sorry. I actually pity the haters because you know what? I think the hammer is absolutely going to come down on Piers Morgan in the press. And they are still in this deluded mental space where they believe the likes of Lady C. Campbell, where they believe the tabloids, they believe Piers Morgan. And imagine how their world is going to come crashing down when they see Piers Morgan being hauled away or being slapped with an order. That headline, Piers Morgan has to pay Prince Harry and Meghan. Imagine. Because they believe so much what Piers Morgan and what the tabloids are saying. It was the same with the strip Harry and Meghan of their titles, only to find out they wanted to give away the titles anyway. Anyway, Educate You has just come in, so hello.
Hello.
Hi, Educate You. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. exciting morning.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
What was your
as
reaction
far,
when you found out?
huh?
What was your reaction when you found out?
I'm like, yay. It should be a crowd of people out there cheering that on,
Mhm.
you know, but they're not.
Mhm.
The British have been groomed to accept all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to take for them to actually react to what's going on, because you have the French with them trying to push up the retirement age,
Yeah.
and they're out there. And it's like, no, we're not accepting that.
Mhm.
You see, Israel, he tried to change. He wants to handpick the Supreme Court justices. They ran up into his house.
Yeah. I'm not
They
taking it.
overran his personal personal army. He got a personal army.
Do you remember in Sri Lanka where they literally went into the palaces? They were swimming around the swimming pools. They were in the
Yes,
bedroom.
yes, you
Yeah.
know. But I'm saying this is Israel.
Mhm.
That's his people.
Mhm.
That's his people. They're like, no. They closed the universities. They're not open.
Mhm.
The reserves are not going in.
Yeah,
You
but
got part of the military. A part of the
it's a
military is protesting.
yeah, it's a very different country. It's very a different culture, and I just don't see that if there was change, if it would happen like that. I think that's what
Mm,
needs to happen, but I don't know. I hope that somehow with this case people's eyes can be opened, but even the
mm,
way that the press is reporting, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but a lot of the headlines are Prince Harry privacy case.
mm-hmm.
This is a phone hacking and unlawful
Yes.
information gathering case. They're really avoiding using the term
Mm-hmm.
phone hacking.
Mm-hmm. Because there are other ones that are doing it too.
Hmm.
And we look at the press. The press is not the press anymore.
Hmm.
They're owned by billionaires,
Yeah.
and they're all in the same club.
Hmm.
So we let this one go down and come at, let them come after them, then they can come
All of
after
us.
us also.
Yeah.
you
Of course.
know so they're protecting their interests,
Hmm.
and their control over what's being reported and not being reported,
Hmm.
because you have, even with the Dominion case against Fox, it's also
Yeah.
Smartmatic is against, has it, they let that go through too, so that's two lawsuits that he's handling here in the United States. Joe
Yeah.
Biden's son just got his lawyers, and they're going after Fox.
Hmm.
you know
And it's interesting that all of this seems to be happening at the same time, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's like the universe is moving
it
everything in
is,
into the right place.
because it's a new age.
Hmm.
And if you cannot come up into the new age, it's going to disappear. It's gone. Nobody, the old way is no, nobody's accepting that anymore. And you're
Hmm.
seeing it more and more all over the world. It's like,
Yeah.
we're not accepting that. This is the new age. This is 2023. Why are we doing things from the 1600s? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Hmm.
no, no. And they can't get a
Right.
handle on the information, because that's why they're trying to control social media. They're kind of trying to control TikTok,
Hmm.
talking about, that the Chinese can get the data from, they can get. So what about Instagram, Facebook? They all have our data. Everybody has our data. They already have it. So what's the problem? You're
Oh,
trying to
thank you
make them
so
the
much.
boogeyman. They the boogeyman, because you know what? TikTok is used by the youth.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They don't want. Not only is it used, I mean, it's used by a lot of people, but like things tend to spread quite quickly on TikTok. Like the algorithm is pretty insane.
yeah,
But
well, the
yeah.
50 and 60-year-olds ain't on TikTok. or organizing nothing. But the youth, that's how they got the vote out here in the United States when the presidential election. And it was the youth because they were on TikTok and they were able to message to themselves because you're not getting it from the media, the mainstream media.
Indeed.
And they
Well,
got them to come in and register to vote. And they were voting on campus. And what did they do in Texas? They said, "Oh, you can't register in the camp on the campuses no more."
Okay, I don't want us to take go too far off the topic, but
Yeah, okay, yeah, I
thank
know.
you.
But Prince Harry is like, yeah,
But
yeah.
thank you
But
so much. Educate you.
it's like a catalyst, like
Yeah.
once that somebody at that high profile
Hmm.
does that, it makes other people like, okay, maybe I better do something also.
Yeah. Or at least like join forces and hopefully
Yeah, because
finally put the hammer down on these people.
he's taking the brunt of it. You know what I'm saying? He's in the
Hmm.
front.
Yeah.
So he's taking the brunt of all of this. But we got to be behind him. You know, he needs
And that's why
everybody
we're
to be behind him. Yes.
yeah, and that's why we're here. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, educate you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Rahini, are you at work?
Yes, I am, and I have to be even quieter. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I
Do
have
you know what?
always at work.
I feel like one day we're gonna be like on a live, and I'm just gonna like hear Rahini's manager in the background, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then we're just gonna like hear Rahini being
No,
like
but
dragged away.
you might hear me take a call. I have to, take a call. But here's the thing:
Oh,
it is so unique. It is so interesting to watch the professional courtesy of the other media outlets towards the Daily Mail. Because even here in America, OAN, which is competition for Fox, they're covering the lawsuit against Fox because they're competition. So it says to me that
mhm.
in the UK, it says to me that in the UK, they are all terrified. That I told you this case is really important because
Yeah,
precedent is being set.
but
And once they are set, it's going to be an avalanche. I wouldn't be surprised is if once they win, there's going to be law firms just searching for people who the press went after and say, have
yeah,
you been wronged by the press? Please call so and so and so and so lawsuit and law firm. We'll take them to court for you. This is a big case. And look, you understand, according to Baron, there are no leaks in Montecito. So here we come in easy and smooth and just looking all let me stop lusting off on Meghan Markle husband and I'll behave myself, right? But this ginger just, oh my goodness, I'm not lying. He's wetting underwear is a thing. Uh, it was so bad. But I'm so happy. I'm so happy today and I can't wait. And I know they did not expect him to come. They
yeah,
didn't expect him to come. And that is our message. He's saying to them that I will go the long haul. I'm not just gonna sit by and let this case go through and let people, you have wronged me and I'm coming for you. And I am coming full speed ahead. And I say go Harry. Dirty
hmm,
them. Dirty them,
hmm.
I tell you. I'm loving it. I'm loving I was gonna take a break until the jubilee, but I think I've gotta stay here. Keep joining me back.
Yeah, yeah,
I ain't going nowhere, squad. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere.
yeah,
I'm here, baby. Go squaddies. I love it. We need to pray. We need to keep praying in truth.
yeah.
Yeah. I
I
don't care
I
which
do
God you have.
wonder.
Pray it
Yeah,
all.
I do wonder if he's gonna be here for like the next few days, or if he literally just came for the first day just to get it some attention, and he's gonna duck out.
Mm, well, in my experience, these kind of cases, kind of, it would they'll be like days in between the next one, and I think the first day of trial isn't it like the ninth? So I think these what
Yeah.
is now is like preliminary hearings and stuff, and then they have
Mm,
something they call evidence in chief, which is evidence that both sides supposed to agree on to save time, that they agree
mm,
on this happen, like dates and times and certain things. So that's kind of what they're going through right now. But I don't know. I don't know. But what I wanted. I just want to say this. There, I was reading through the filing, and there was one of the things they said that they impersonated people to get medical information. Do y'all remember? I'm not
Yes.
sure if it was George or Charlotte, but we found out about that baby not through the official worlds, but there. I think it was George. This radio journalist in pretended to be the queen and the office of the queen and called the hospital and live on air. The nurse who was young, she didn't know, she gave a whole set of information, and she got so much backlash. Remember, she committed suicide. Remember that story?
Yes, I remember
You
that. But
understand?
actually, if okay, what actually happened was they rang. There was an Indian nurse that I think picked up, and then she put it through to another nurse, right? And it
Hmm.
was the other nurse that actually gave the details, and then there was the Indian nurse that committed suicide. And there was a lot at the time. I think people felt that perhaps they put more of the blame on her. You know, being an immigrant woman, she felt more under pressure. It was almost like she was getting more of the blame.
Yeah, but it was so sad. And do you see? This is what they do. They impersonate. This is the type of tactics. Yeah. So for me, the royal family should be paying attention to this. Like, this
Mm,
is the ramifications of how bad things could get. Anybody could get caught up in their nonsense
yeah.
and be wrongly harmed. I remember that,
Yeah.
and that was the first thing that stood out to me. And and after she died, the Cambridges got a lot of flack in the press because it took
Because
them
they
like about
didn't.
2 weeks before they even
Yeah.
said, we're sorry or express condolences. You all see what could
Yes.
happen. You see what could happen, and you just sitting. You're supposed to be cheering him on. You're supposed to be cheering him on because y'all are going to benefit as well. This is why this case is really, really important. And then now with social media and all of that, this is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And the issue
Do
with
you?
privacy, the question is this: how much of me are you entitled to? Do you
Mm,
understand? And we listen to you here. We like you here. There are people who send you money. Do I have a right to know what color drawers you're wearing? Do I have a right to know when was your last period? How much men you see? But that's not my business. How much of me are you entitled to? And that's the question with privacy, right?
mm,
And that's the question that everybody needs to ask themselves. And privacy is a human right. It doesn't matter what I put out
yeah.
there. You're only entitled to know what I tell you. Anything beyond that, and that is not your business.
Well, I
And
think
that is the fundamental.
I mean, I, I feel that I actually have an answer for that question. I think you're entitled to what is genuinely in the public interest if it is of harm to the public or someone.
Well, that is
I
the
think that
difference
is what you're
between
entitled to.
something being in the public interest and of
Yes,
interest to the
to the
public,
public. Yes,
right?
of
That is
course.
that is the difference, and there must be a firm demarcation between the two of them, and that's what you have to ask yourself as a person, right? As a person, you
Mm,
need to ask yourself what's and not only that, but does how far can uh what's the word, a zealous journalist, how far should they be able to go to get this information? Should they be able to bug
yeah,
my house? Should they be
yeah.
able to tap my phone? Where do I as a human being have an expectation of privacy? Is it reasonable for you to put cameras in my bathroom when I'm
Yeah.
bathing? Do you understand me? Do you have that right? And when you think of it as to you as a person, and the thing is with the press, you could say, oh, it's celebrity or it's royal family and none, but we see that they have done it to ordinary citizens.
Yes.
Anybody could get caught up in this.
And
Anybody could get caught up in
the
this.
thing is, like a lot of the stories with celebrities, it's just salacious gossip. It's not any kind of hard-hitting journalism that would benefit the public in any way. You're going after Sienna Miller because you want to know whether or not she's pregnant instead of going after, the prime ministers who's, shagging this girl here, there, and everywhere instead of, running the country. Like you need.
Even that I don't care about. I am not Boris' wife. I don't care. I want to
Mm,
know what he doing with my tax dollars. That's what I want to care
yeah,
about.
yeah.
You understand me? even the, I think it's Hugh Grant, when he got arrested for being with, a sex worker.
Yeah.
Was I his wife? How that is my business?
Yeah.
How
And
that is my business?
Hugh Grant isn't running the country.
Exactly. Anyway, and I have to go. Calls are coming in. I gotta
No, thank
go.
you so much, Rainy. See you later. Bye bye. All right, Leslie. Actually, but before we go to Leslie, thank you so much to Legs the Super Sticker. You said we should keep Rob Jobson and cackling Emily Andrews' disgusting behavior in the news. Those people may like this deflection, but their day is coming. Yeah, I mean, I think going forward now, if Rob Jobson comes back on Twitter, he's just gonna get just flooded with replies. Right, let's go on to Leslie. You can come on now. Leslie, do you want to unmute yourself? Okay, I don't know
Can
if
you hear
Les.
me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I said I'm sorry. I said Rahini makes me laugh so much. I was like all into her conversation. So, anyways, I'm in the United States, Florida. This summer I was in England. I was there for 6 weeks. But I'm gonna tell you how stealth this flight is and why Harry always they do personal jets. First of all, it's a 5 to 6 hour flight from California to the East Coast. And then
Yeah.
it's another, it could be even if you get a direct flight, it's usually a night flight, which we call here a red eye. It's an evening flight. And it usually takes 7 to 8.5 hours. So that's just airtime. That doesn't include like getting to the airport, going through the screening, a delay or anything else. But he flew out Friday from California. He had to because I have a really good friend that works at Miami International Airport. An international airport in Miami, Florida does not have a private jet hangar. It's north of Miami in Fort Lauderdale. And what people don't realize is VIP and first class citizens are in the same private lounge. So to fly in stuff that we had to fly out Friday night, arrive Saturday into Miami, and then, either go to a hotel, be in a lounge or whatever, and then fly out Saturday night to arrive in London yesterday, Sunday morning, because that's the only flight that on the weekend that goes. They're all, doesn't matter if you're leaving from Orlando or Miami or Tampa or Pensacola, they all do the evening red eye flight. They're usually all at night. So I mean, that was a
The
2 day
super
flight, and
ninja.
he flew in stealth ninja. I travel a lot. I've been all over. I've even worked in Australia, so I always know like all these. I'm like he like ninja in, and people said my friend said he looks so casual. She said he had a white shirt on, baseball hat. She goes he was friendly. Took there what we have seen here in the United States some selfie pictures, but I don't know if he had people not post them or anything, but they didn't get posted till like today. So, Americans were like, oh, yeah, we ain't saying nothing.
Good.
We ain't
Yeah, no
telling.
leaks from that side. No leaks at
No.
all.
But then this morning, or I guess last night, our middle of the night, because I think I'm 6 hours behind everybody in London. I saw an interview. I think it's GBN. They were like, "Wow, he just flew in just like that," and they were like, "Oh, well, I wonder where he's staying. Is he staying here? Is he staying at Frogmore?" And they're like, "We don't even know." He's like, "He just came out of nowhere." And the one commentator
Mm.
said, "Yeah, like a superhero." And then they cut it off, and I was like, I started laughing, but I was like, "Whoa." But I also wanted to update you on a couple other little things. First of all, that
Okay.
Heritage Foundation request for Harry's immigration papers that got shot down here in the United States within 12 hours of that news going out. So
Oh,
they're
okay.
just
Thank
feeding
you. I
it to
didn't know
you
about
guys
that.
down in the UK. They're just feeding you guys in the United States. That's even under Freedom of Information Act. It has when I just came from working. I was actually up in Chicago in Barron's Areas, and I was working with the migrants there from Venezuela. So I know the immigration intake forms that we had to do, and I know the medical screening. So all of that is has in the intake. It has medical um, questions, so that cannot be publicized. So that got shot
Right.
down by our Homeland Security within less than 12 hours. It was already like, no, we're not giving you anything. But they're
Mm.
feeding it to the UK tabloids, like they're
And making it
waiting,
seem
they
like it's
sued. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that got shot down here very, very quickly. Second of all, when it comes to that question, I've had to ask that question. Here are the back rules for it. They do not care here when you do your application. It has to be within the last 5 to 7 years. If it was over that, it's the answer. You answer to that is no. If you were never convicted of a crime or ever arrested or even arrested, your answer is still no. Not only that, here's one little thing that the UK tabloids are not telling you here in the United States. It doesn't matter if you're immigrant from Mexico, Venezuela, or Prince Harry. When you do your immigration application, you will get a toxicology and drug screening test. Everybody does.
I mean,
So
if you know,
whether he,
if Ozzy Osbourne and Snoop Dogg could pass it, then I'm sure
well, and the thing is
Harry did. So
right. And so here's
yeah,
the thing. Well, here's the thing. Everybody gets one, and there's 3 different kinds. There's urine, there's blood, and there's hair follicle. Okay.
yeah.
And so hair.
Sorry, sweetheart. So I don't want to go too much into it. I want
Okay.
to like
So,
just stay
anyways,
on topic a
so
little bit.
that question around that, just so you know, the Heritage Foundation, that's been shot
Yeah.
down here. And it really doesn't matter if he answered yes or no, they're going to find out through the drug screen. And if he's under a doctor's prescription or under a doctor's care, then the answer to that would still be no, because that's a prescribed medication.
I mean, to be honest, like the whole
Yeah.
thing with the Heritage Foundation, it was just one big distraction, and obviously, like the
Of
guy was
course.
linked to Trump, and yeah, like I said when I did the podcast, it's just listen, they're gonna throw anything and everything at the
Right.
wall like they always do. I wouldn't even be surprised if
Right.
the bullying allegations came back, or the Meghan wore blood diamonds from the Saudi Arabians came back, or just
Yes.
whatever.
And
Right?
my
It's just like a
prediction,
constant
yeah.
cycle.
And my prediction is Harry's going to be there till Tuesday.
You
Because
think?
yes, because of the flight schedules coming back. That's a hard turnaround to go for one day and come back with the time changes. I mean, he went across almost like a 12-hour time change. Number one. And number two, remember King Charles' trip to France was canceled. He was
Yeah.
supposed to leave on Sunday. So his schedule's open from Sunday to Tuesday. If I was Harry, I'm going to predict I'm going to stay in the UK, see if daddy comes a calling, and see if he sends that olive branch. Because his
No, yeah.
schedule's open, his diary's open.
Well, I
They
mean, we
couldn't have
don't.
scheduled something.
As
Well, you got to
far as
think
what's
about it.
going on with it, I mean, as far as what's going on with the family, like I won't like speculate whether or not
Right.
Harry's
So
gonna
my prediction
meet.
is he's staying till Tuesday. That's what
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Okay. Thank you so much, Leslie, for your
You're
insight.
welcome.
Much appreciated. Have a great day, hun.
You guys have any? Bye, squatties.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to Caddy B for Super Cigar. Much appreciated. Thank you. And before we hop out, I just wanted to read exactly what it is that Harry said regarding the press in SPET. Let me read that section again. Let me just get it up on my phone. Right, so Harry said, I'd been walking with Willie and Pa for about half an hour, but it felt like one of those days, long marches the army put me through when I was a new soldier. I was beat. We'd reached a pass, and we'd reached the Gothic ruin. After a long route, we'd arrived back and we'd begun. Pa and Willie were still claiming not to know why I'd fled Britain, still claiming not to know anything, and I was getting ready to walk away. One of them brought up the press. They asked about my hacking lawsuit. They still hadn't asked about Meg, but they were keen to know how my lawsuit was going because that directly affected them. Still ongoing. Suicide mission, Pa mumbled. Maybe, but it's worth it. I'd soon prove that the press were more than liars, I said. That they were lawbreakers. I was going to see some of them thrown into jail. That was why they were attacking me so viciously. They knew I had hard evidence. And listen, look at the smile on Harry's face. There is something that Harry knows. There is something that Harry has. That level of confidence, whatever he has, is a grenade. I was going to see some of them thrown in jail. That was why they were attacking me so viciously. They knew I had hard evidence. It wasn't about me. It was a matter of public interest. Shaking his head, Pa allowed that journalists were the scum of the earth. His phrase, but, I snorted. There was always a but with him when it came to the press, because he hated their hate. But oh, how he loved their love. One could make the argument that therein lay the seeds of the whole problem, indeed, all problems going back decades. Deprived of love as a boy, bullied by schoolmates, he was dangerously, compulsively drawn to the elixir they had offered him. And apparently, also, looking at this picture, to the cake that they offer him. He cited Grandpa as a sterling example of why the press wasn't anything to get too vexed about. Poor Grandpa had been abused by the papers for most of his life. But now look, he was a national treasure. The papers couldn't say enough good things about the man. Yeah, once he got into like what? His 80s, 90s? He had to wait all that time for somebody to say something positive about him. Anyway, Harry goes on. So that's it then. Just wait until we're dead and all will be sorted. If you could just endure it, darling boy, for a little while. In a funny way, they'd respect you for it. I laughed. All I'm saying is, don't take it personally. Speaking of taking things personally, I told them I might learn to endure the press and even forgive their abuse. I might, but my own family's complicity, that was going to take longer to get over. Pa's office, Willie's office, enabling their fiends, if not outright collaborating. Meg was apparently a bully. That was the latest vicious campaign they'd helped orchestrate. It was so shocking that even after Meg and I demolished their lie with a 25-page evidence-filled report to Human Resources, I was going to have trouble simply shrugging that one off. Pa stepped back. Willie shook his head. They began talking over each other. We'd been down this road 100 times, they said. You're delusional, Harry. But they were the delusional ones. Even if for the sake of argument, I accepted that Pa and Willie and their staff had never done one thing against me or my wife. Their silence was an undeniable fact. And that silence was damning, and continuing, and heartbreaking. Pa said, you must understand, darling boy. The institution can't just tell the media what to do. Yes, they can. When they want to, they can. Again, I yelped of laughter. It was like Pa saying he couldn't just tell his valet what to do. Willie said I was a fine one to talk about cooperating with the press. What about my chat with Oprah? A month earlier, Meg and I had done an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Days before it aired, those Meg as a bully stories started popping up in the papers. What a coincidence. Since leaving Britain, the attacks on us had been increasing exponentially. We had to try something to make it stop, but silence wasn't working. It was only making it worse. We felt we had no choice. Several close mates and beloved figures in my life, including one of Hugh and Emily's sons, Emily herself, and even Tiggy, had chastised me for Oprah. How could you reveal such things about your family? I told them that I failed to see how speaking to Oprah was any different from what my family and their staff had done for decades, briefing the press on the sly, planting stories. And what about the endless books they had cooperated, starting with Pa's 1994 crypto autobiography with Jonathan Dibley, or Camilla's collaborations with the editor, Geordie Gray. The only difference was that Meg and I were up front. So there you have it. And great points made. Harry's on a mission. Can he save Britain? You know what? I think he can. I think what will happen in the end, though, was that they may not appreciate it for a generation to come. I think that's what's going to happen. I think I take back a little bit what I said the other day. I think that Harry can actually make a change. It just won't be appreciated for a very, very long time. So thank you everyone for coming to the podcast today. I'm feeling quite drained now. I was going to do another podcast, but I might actually move that to tomorrow because I think we've gone on for quite a long time today. And yeah, I think I'll move the one I was going to do later on. I'll move it to tomorrow, and we'll see what else comes tomorrow. But yeah, this is Harry's life's work, and yeah, I think this is really the beginning of something amazing. So I'll just end with your comments, and yeah, we will call it a day. Right. Cheeky woman, do you think Charles will punish Robert Jobson? I doubt it. I doubt it. When do the royal reporters ever get punished for anything or held accountable for anything? All right, Roseanne, I'm going to give you the last word. Harry, the Ginger Ninja, will prevail. Indeed, he will. Have a glorious day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Ah, yeah. Hey, Amaru. Only if you're ready. Let's go. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love that do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Me no care about all the noise, but I'm digging your station. See how you got my head spinning with a body rotation. Couple days went by, now I'm losing my patience. Go ahead, drop a pin, girl, wanna know your location. What's your location? Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way out. I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day out. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love they do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Yeah. Do you know she royalty? One that I get her heart racing. I did feel like with her we can take over nations, yeah. We can take a trip whenever, girl, you need a vacation. Number one bad girl, killing everything like on a mission. Girl on a mission. Had to pull a plug on your ex, now you coming my way out. I can switch it up for you, girl, I'm no longer a player. See that pretty face on my screen, that'll make my day out. I'm only looking for loyalty. All I need from you. I'm thinking you be the one for me. I can see it on you. Your love they do me every time. With you by my side, we gon' shine. Baby girl, you know you royalty. I've been waiting for you. Yeah.
All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
Ha 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 ha!